on one person.
You know,
there's
I could
another
write a
person
better
there.
story than freaking Brian Reed in my fucking sleep.
Take a gander at the map.
You know,
Halo Rant Part 3.
Left-handed while you're jerking off to fucking gay furry hentai.
Kill the catapults.
okay,
insulting Lewis.
alright, you want Chief to go rogue and have Locke and his new team try to find him? Okay,
Ow,
here's a much
there's a lot of
better
damage.
reason instead of Chief goes rogue because reasons. Because he heard Cortana come back because of space magic. Here's a much better one that I just came up with. What about this? It keeps it so it's still vague gray area, but it still keeps with the themes from Halo 4 that the dialogue leaves behind is that humanity is the worst threat to the mantle's responsibility. They could still bring up the theme that should humans be the ones who preserve life when they're this dangerous? What if, for example, Oni wants to get rid of the Chief, or use the Chief, and kill him as an excuse to start a war with the Arbiter and the rest of the remaining Covenant? So they have an excuse to wipe them out and wipe away that threat. That would be a perfect gray area excuse, because you could see how that's a good, that has good intentions. They want to get rid of a threat to humanity, and they're willing to sacrifice a little bit to do it. And it makes it a gray area when you can compare Oni to Halsey, and it makes a great parallel there. Like, they're going to sacrifice people, so how is Halsey that bad?
We're nearly done.
Oni could use Joel Magma instead of fucking killing him in a cutscene. They could have, hired him, which they have connections with. Osmond, head of freaking Oni, has connections with Joel. They could have used him and say, here's where the demon's at. You kill him, you'll get a bunch of cred with the Covenant, and you could use this to start another civil war with the Arbiter.
I gotta go back.
There you go. A
You guys
perfect
keep on pushing.
for Chief to distrust Oni because he could survive and find evidence that Oni was involved and then go AWOL. He has a perfect excuse to go AWOL. And it would be a more legitimate reason for them to go AWOL. And then Oni could trick Locke and order him to go get rid of the Chief because he can pull some dirty shit and say Chief has gone rogue because he's gone insane because Cortana died. And Cortana never has to come back. It could be a story about Chief trying to figure out what's so good about being human. It could be a story about Chief trying to figure out, does he want to fight for humanity still? It could be that kind of story, and Blue Team following him because they trust in Chief more than they trust in Oni. And it could be that kind of story. And in the end, when they confront each other, the Cyrus team, the Blue Team, it could be them trying
Oh, you got healed, that works.
It could be them trying to confront Oni. And the Halo 5 could be about
Fuck ancestral
resolution
healing,
of
okay?
humanity. Alright?
Like, I can't...
Resolution of Chief's humanity. And then the next game could be when the humans and the Covenant need to work together. You could call it that game the Mantle of Responsibility, where they work together because the Didact comes back. It's from the Halo Cryptium it's from the Halo Forerunner saga. The Didact could come back, or something, or the Librarian can come back, or something else, or, you know what, Mendicant Bias could come back. The freaking Forerunner AI who's corrupted by the Flood. He can come back. Anything. Anything. They could come up with so much to work with. So much to fucking work with. They could have a threat, a real genuine threat that the humans and the Covenant need to learn. And the lessons that they learn is that all life needs to work together to survive. That could be when they gain the Mantle of fucking Responsibility. The Mantle of Protection of all life is when the humans recognize that they can't be so xenophobic, and the Covenant realize they can't be so xenophobic, and the elites, the humans, the Ugnoi, the freaking hunters, all of them have to work together to survive, and then through that they gain a recognition, a respect for one another, and that's when they recognize the Mantle of Responsibility, the Mantle of Protection, the responsibility of all life is to help each other survive. That's what it could have been. Hell, you could bring the Flood back, I don't give a fuck. It could have been that. It could have been
the Flood
that.
died out?
Does that not sound like a fucking much better story than Chief looks for Cortana because he sees her? Cortana's back because space magic. Cortana's evil now.
I think I'm
And now the end of Halo 5, and the end of Halo 5 is just a setup for Halo 6. Because, oh no, we gotta fight Cortana, who's basically a god because she's part of the Forerunner network. Which was never mentioned in the books, by the way. In the Forerunner books. At least that I remember.
So I should retitle
You could have had
this stream to Zach Rants.
Up these steps.
Why
I don't
Halo
give a
5
fuck.
sucks.
Zach Rants.
Halo, it's just like Attack on Titan. Just like Attack on Titan. It is so fucking shit because it had so much fucking potential, and it's worse than Attack on Titan. At least Attack on Titan was something new, and it had potential. Halo 5 has so much they could pull from for potential, but no, they hire this fucking fanfiction writer to write it. This is the same guy who wrote Spartan Ops. The same guy who doesn't know anything about Halsey, anything about the frickin' guys. The same guy who probably wrote Palmer, who's the frickin' female knockoff version of fucking Sergeant Johnson.
I hope I didn't just kick you off.
Where it's just, my females are just as good as men. You watch, and they're all arrogant and prissy.